Jenny here from the Laundry Garden, and today I'm going to be showing you what I'm going to be planting in two great big pots that Tom bought me last year, and it's taken me until now to finally decide what to put in them. All the plants I'm going to be using are perennial and will come back every year, and also if I decide to take them out and try something new, I'll put them in the garden, which is a win-win. And here they are, positioned intentionally to frame this walk just behind me, and they do a wonderful job. I did have a couple of terracotta pots here originally which were half the size of these, and Tom felt the scale of this whole garden needed something much bigger, and I kind of agree with him. These work far better in this place, and we have filled them halfway to about here with rubble, so bits of stone, bits of all kinds around the place to give it extra drainage. If we were putting trees in here, then we would put more soil in and less rubble, but because these are only perennials, their roots are not going to be much longer than, say, about here. And also I probably won't keep them in here forever either. I'd like to keep playing and trying out new recipes of plant formulations to keep it looking exciting and interesting here. Here are my 5 chosen plants, and I'm going to be putting 3 of each one in this pot, totaling in about 15 plants. Each pot is 9 centimeters big, and that gives me a chance to cram in more of them. My star performers are going to be this Salvia. This is Salvia Wendy's Wish, and this will be probably getting to quite a decent height, maybe about 1 foot in total, and will spread really well. And the other plant that is going to give us some colour as well with some flowers is Echinacea Flamethrower. Oof. The next 2 are my fillers, and we have this Sanguisorba Red Thunder, and we've got this Stipa tenuissima. And then something that will give it constant colour, which is actually flowering now, is this Heuchera Marmalade. And look at those leaves, isn't that beautiful? As soon as I saw all the combinations and colours and foliage together, I really felt this made the perfect combination. When it comes to filling a pot this size, I think it's always good to start with the star plants, and obviously the star ones I've chosen are the Salvia Wendy's Wish and the Echinacea Flamethrower. And I think I'm going to put the star performer slightly towards the back, because that's going to be the one that's giving me the height and the colour. And then I'm going to put all the other things slightly to the front, maybe slightly dotted in, to give the ambience and the flamboyance to the front of it. You'll see what I mean as well as I slowly build up this collection. Now, I know these salvias will eventually take up a good amount of space, but when they merge together, they're going to look absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to put those here. Then I've got the echinaceas, and I think the echinaceas would look good probably amongst them. So I'll probably put one here, one here. And you can be very random about this. If you prefer, you could block things together. That looks fine as well. Me personally, I like to mix things up a bit, let things merge together. Okay, I think I can now add the Sanguisorba, and I think the Sanguisorba will look great. Slightly spilling around, probably the sides maybe. And this is something I'm going to play. It's always good to sort of mix and match things. I might just move that Echinacea to the front a little bit and maybe put that Sanguisorba in the middle, so it just adds a bit of drama here. Okay, next up I think we'll get the Heucheras in, because they certainly add a bit more dimension to it. Let's put this one here. Maybe we could put, I quite fancy the heucheras a little bit more into the edges, or maybe in between here. And also, when you're positioning, it's really good to take a step back as well occasionally to see how things are looking from a distance. And for me, I think everything is almost displayed from this point out, hence why the salvias are in this point here. How does that look? This is where it gets interesting as well, because these add a bit of featheriness and some more height as well, and a slight colour contrast you can see there. I definitely think we need one near the back and probably another one here. And then we've got a little space here, and these grasses will just float around. Oh, yes. How does that look? Ooh. Okay, step back and have a look. I think I might swap these around, which does mean I'll have two sanguisorbas next to one another, but that doesn't matter. Because they have these beautiful single stem plumes that come out with a little bobble, deep red, sort of burgundy deep red bobble at the end, and they will just dance around this whole section here. A lot of this, including the salvias, are slightly later in their flowering, which works brilliantly in this combination. So once the heucheras finish flowering, then everything else will have come up a little bit more and they will start to take over the show. Now then, I think that, how does that look? Yeah. So if you can imagine the salvias coming up through here, then obviously we've got our waftiness of the grasses, the foliage of the heucheras, and then we've got these little flower heads from the sanguisorbas and the beautiful Echinacea bold flowers as well. It's going to look fantastic. And all of this will merge into one and give me a really good display now, right up until probably September, October, hopefully. Great. Now I just need to mirror the other one. There. I think they work pretty well together. I'm really excited to see this. Oh, it's going to look great, isn't it? Now for getting them into the pot. And here's a quick little method tip I can show you when it comes to planting a lot of things in one pot. First of all, you can grab yourself a tray, because when you take things out of their pots, you'll need something to catch all the mud, or even just a sheet or a mat or something. That there. Now, here's the quick tip. What we're going to do, and hopefully the pots will have the labels written on them, or you'll have a label with them. Take the plant out of the pot, pop it on the tray, and then you're going to put the soil in the pot, and you're going to sink that pot in exactly the position you've just taken it out of. So you know what plant it is, and you know exactly where it's going to be going. And we're going to do that with all of these plants. Now all the pots have been sunken in, what I've now done is I've gone round each pot and I've just firmed the soil a little bit round. Maybe take a bit out, just. So that what happens when I take a pot out, like that, I've got the perfect hole. I also know what's going in it. And this is the best bit. Heuchera Marmalade slots straight into that hole, like that. It's great, it's like magic, isn't it? And this little bit of leftover here can be used to sprinkle over any gaps around the edges. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to start with the middle plants and then work my way outwards. But you kind of get my idea on how to do this. I've also arranged everything in this tray in the similar format to what was in the pot, and it's just acts as another reminder of where everything's going to be. Ta-da! How gorgeous is that? I've been quietly chuckling to myself thinking, wow, this is going to look amazing. Now with the Sanguisorba here, there are one or two slightly straggly leaves hanging around the place. So what I might do is chop them off. New ones will come from the base anyway. And as soon as the Heuchera flowers are over as well, then I will snip them away too. And hopefully everything in here will just gently fill out and flourish. I'm going to give this a good water. A lot of the soil will drop a little bit, so I've got my little pots here if I need to tweak a few little places. All of these you can buy from Crocus online in the UK. Otherwise, there will be a list in my description as well for you to have a muse at and make your own decision. I'll bring you back here when all of this, probably in a month or two, when things start to fill out a bit, and especially with the Salvia as that starts to get bigger. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope this was really helpful to you and there's been some good little tips in there as well. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.